Hello and welcome to BuzRant. I'm Das Hat.
I'm Sam.
I'm Maya.
I'm Merlin.
And today, later has finally come. Every time we've talked about that bloody Avatar film, we said we'd talk about it later. Today is later. So Shyamalan, gird your loins.
Last Airbender. Here it is.
Alright. We all knew this day was coming. We all tried to avoid it. However, the YouTube comments that aren't there but have been screaming at me to talk about it anyway.
The invisible comments.
The invisible comments that only I can read when Gomer's on my shoulder. We have to talk about it and why it failed in such spectacular fashion. Because if you look at that film, the special effects and everything, other films have gotten by on just the special effects alone. Mm-hmm. And let's be fair, there are moments in that film that do look visually spectacular.
I like the trailer. I only saw the trailer, by the way. I didn't suffer the film like all of you, because one of you went and told me it was horrible. Don't look at it. But the airbending in the trailer looked very nice. You had all these candles, the little kid, takes them out with his airbending. But that was about it. Then I was like, yeah.
You don't ever want to really say kids or horrible actors because they're you feel bad, but
well, every now and again you find a good one.
Yeah, but then
it's
like when you see any of the Twilight characters outside of Twilight, you're just like, why are they acting still? Damn it, Sokka, you're not supposed to be from Twilight. Yeah.
It just.
He is the guy from Twilight. Why did you bring that back?
Sorry.
It hurts all the more.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. In this movie, it's Sokka.
No, it is not, and I will kill you with a tablet.
Despite the fact that in the series, that was a joke in the first season. How he corrects a guy for mispronouncing his name like that.
Did Shyamalan only see that one episode? And
No,
maybe that's why he doesn't know?
The thing is...
But he would have known from that episode.
He claims he watched it with his kids.
No.
I doubt that.
This is the truth of the matter, and I'm willing to put money down on this. His children probably watched the series and were big fans of it and used to talk to him about it all the time over dinner, and he didn't care. But the thing is, when the time came that they were talking about having a film made, he probably said, alright, you know what, my kids really like it, I'm willing to do it. And what he probably got was just all of the screenplay and dialogue. And just read it off that. And I think that's why you had such a great disparity between so many names.
After he mispronounced three of the main characters' names.
If you never saw the series and you just saw how their names are written, he's not technically wrong. You can pronounce those names that way.
I think he did some research and said it's originally, that's what I've heard, that they're originally pronounced like that, but regardless of that, it's not a movie, it's a movie based on the series, it's not a movie based on the original pronunciation.
And it's a direct translation of the series.
Yeah.
It's the entire first season.
Exactly.
So you can't just, decide to change the name, because even though, and I did write an article about this, and there's going to be another article talking about the influences of the Eastern in Avatar, the original series.
Right.
But there's so much Western influence in it as well.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So much that you can't even just say, let's just make it all, Eastern and change the names and whatnot. The names are there for...
There's mispronunciation.
Westerners. When you look carefully, even Aang has blue eyes for the whole series.
Right.
So the casting was good for Aang, not so much for the other.
Well, no, the casting wasn't so bad. It's just that you need to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before in the little snippets that we said we'd get to later. Now it's later, so we're getting to it. The entire Water Tribe looks like the Inuits, which is proper from the series, except for the main characters that go with Aang.
Yeah.
They're both white. And it instantly creates that talk about racism and all this stuff. You see from the Air Nomads that they are a multicultural and diverse group. The one black guy in the film is Monkey Atsu, and of course he dies first.
The problem with that was that he looks like he's 30, not 80, which is what he's supposed to be, because that actually translates to...
But you're willing to accept that. You're willing to accept that.
Yeah.
You're willing to accept that.
It's an adaptation, but there's only so much you can adapt at the same time.
Exactly.
If you're trying so hard to make it with the series, and then you're making it so different, that's a problem. But if you want to try to make it completely different, then... That's
but
story as well, right?
Did he cast the actors, the actors based on the voice actors' ethnicities, or the actual characters' ethnicities in the animation? That's what I wondered at one point.
Well, no,
not really, because
They got the guy from Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, they're Indian.
Yeah.
But then you had the entire Fire Nation that was Indian, or at least Indian looking, except for his sister, for some reason, who shows up right at the very end, and she's completely Asian. Which didn't make any sense.
Are you sure?
No, she's
Concubines.
No.
No.
Azula at the end of that film,
looked
she's
Indian.
Japanese.
She looked Indian, but I looked
She was
up
very
her
Japanese.
actress. She wasn't. She
Oh.
isn't.
She looked very
So-
Japanese,
her
especially
name's
compared to
Samil
Slumdog
something.
Millionaire Indian. She's not the right sort of Indian looking.
That's funny.
Uh,
Who is this girl's mom?
What happened to the gene pool?
Maybe they had their own concubines.
But okay, we're
Just
getting
like
we're getting way off topic because this isn't the faults of the movie. The faults of the movie follows as the consistency of the show. One being what they did with firebending.
Alright, no, but this is a big thing, and I think this is one of the crippling things, because in the first season, I can't remember what the episode's called, but when you have all of those earthbenders that are basically captured and taken onto that oil rig,
Yes.
they're away
Yeah.
from Earth and so they can't use it. Basically, you hear in just like a brief sentence, when they're first brought to the prison warden is telling them that fire is the strongest element because out of all of the elements, it is the only one that the benders create themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone else is limited by their ability, by the availability of what's there. Now, airbenders, sure, you're always going to be around air.
Yeah.
But waterbenders and earthbenders, if you take them away from it, they have no ability. Making firebenders only able to bend fire that's already there actually weakens it compared to all the other ones, because
Yeah.
fire itself is man-made. It isn't a natural element.
Yeah, and
it's
it's
a chemical
nearly
reaction.
non-existent.
It's nearly
Yeah.
non-existent in nature. It makes that the weakest of elements. And that's a very serious problem, because it doesn't make sense that they would be able to go out and conquer like they did when, as soon as you splash some water on the torch,
Yeah.
the
No.
entire bending ability is gone. And let's face it, the martial arts in this film were crap.
Yeah, it looked like, because the greatest strength in the series was the fact that it actually looked like they were pushing the elements.
Well-
right? But in the movie, it more like they're just.
They're
and everything's,
dancing.
like floating
Well,
around.
it's not even that they're dancing. It takes them like 50 moves before they can actually move the element.
Yeah.
When that's like the whole combat thing is just for them to fight.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a flick of the wrist for them to really bend the water or
Yeah.
bend fire or anything.
The
a lot of the
actor
stuff-
for Aang was,
sorry, go ahead.
The actor for Aang I heard was casted because he was, I think he actually ranked high in some
He's a Taekwondo kid.
Yeah.
He's like since 4 years old.
Honestly, I think he did a good job in the film. It was just everyone else, and the dialogue that they were given, that was such crap.
It was
Yeah.
really bad. Also, he also ended up putting in things that made no sense, like the bow that he did to everyone, like made absolutely no sense. I'm like, there's nothing. What?
There
is
were
that
thematic
for?
elements that were introduced and resolved within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the moon spirit and Iroh basically just all of a sudden says that everyone has a destiny and you need to find out what it is. There's been no hints of that throughout the entire film,
Yeah.
and then she just goes, "I know what my destiny is." What the hell was that from? You were never conflicted in the beginning.
Yeah.
There was no sort of issue with that. You were engaged to another guy. You were just instantly with Sokka. Damn you, Shyamalan. You were instantly with Sokka. There were no issues, and you just wrote in an issue for one line for the sake of having it there.